everybody, my name is Kat and I'm super happy to be able to share my middle splits stretches with you here for the Worldwide Splitters Challenge. I don't claim to be any kind of expert, by the way, on middle splits. Christy Dunton asked me to make the video and I just can't say no to anything she says because the woman is adorable. So I am a flexibility teacher here in Dubai, and the techniques and stretches that I'll be showing you come from a few different places, from my training that I did at Spin Circus School down in Melbourne, and from some training that I did with contortion teacher. Maybe some of you know her. Her name is Jacinta Rowan. She's based in Melbourne. And a bit from yoga, so a little bit here and a little bit there. I don't claim that this is the only way to do it, but this is what I know, so I'm happy to share it with you. A couple of things first. I'm assuming that you're already warmed up. I've done about 10 minutes of warm-up before we get into the static stretches that I'll show you now. And also, I'm assuming that you're not injured, you don't have any reason why you shouldn't be doing these stretches. And also, just to let you know, I'm a big believer in partner stretching. I teach partner stretching in all of the classes, the flexibility classes that I teach. I have not done any partner stretching before making this video for you today, so maybe I'll be a little bit less bendy than I normally am, but we'll give it a go anyway. So I hope you enjoy. So the first thing I'm going to do is get into my straddle, or my pancake as we like to call it. I'm up on one block for this, but you certainly don't have to have your feet on blocks at all. And I haven't gone into my super mega wider straddle yet. We're not in the middle splits yet. I've just gone to a comfortable straddle. If you are not yet bendy enough that you can sit up like this in a straddle, you certainly don't want to use blocks. And what you might like to do is sit on a stack of towels. So you'll know you're not bendy enough if you start doing this. And you can't really sit up. So if you sit on a pile of towels, it's just going to lift you up and make you feel comfortable when you do the pancake stretches, and not like you're constantly falling backwards. So you just find your straddle first, and we're going to start to move. So sometimes if you do middle split stretches, your hips can just feel really locked up and like they're made of concrete. So I really like to start off the stretches by moving, just to get a bit of freedom there into the hips. So I'm just sweeping my arm forward, and every time I come to the middle, I'm letting my chest drop down. As I'm sure you guys all know, for pancake, the aim is to have the belly button on the ground. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm trying not to round my spine too much, and I'm trying not to push or force anything at the moment. So you'll see I'm already getting a little bit lower, and my hips are already starting to open up a little bit. So I can have a moment here, just a few breaths here in the pancake stretch. Walking my hands back up to the middle, I'm going to bend my elbow and place it on the ground and do the first side stretch. So for this one, I reach my arm up, and the purpose is to really spin my ribcage backwards. I'm pushing my right arm into my right leg a lot. This is going to be especially helpful for people who are a little bit less bendy than me, to really start to open up the this bottom leg, and also really be able to rotate the ribcage backwards. So I'll stay up there for a couple more breaths. I feel this delicious stretch and this really nice opening in the whole top side of my body. This prepares the body for the next stretch that we're going to go into now, which is grabbing the foot. So I flex my foot, and I bring my shoulder in front of my knee. I'm aiming to get my shoulder and my head on the floor. And there we go. So I'm still, you'll notice, I'm still pulling my arm up to the ceiling. I'm still trying to rotate my rib cage backwards. I hear that some of the contortion teachers can actually lay their whole spines down on their leg. I'm sure it's extremely beauty, but it's not reality for me just yet. Maybe one day if I keep on training. So I stay there for a few breaths, really trying to relax into the pose, relax into the stretch. And then I'm gonna come on out. Just put that there for something in a minute. So we go to the other side now. I push my left arm to my left leg, and just like we did before, I rotate my rib cage backwards. So if you're a little bit less bendy, maybe you try to grab your foot and it looks like this, and you can't seem to get down or get further no matter how hard you try. You can try to use a strap to help you. Here, my strap, I also use this for my scorpion training. I tied a knot in it, and then I put it around my ankle, and then you can just go like this. And if you feel like you can walk your hand down, you grab it with your other hand, bring your shoulder forward, and then pull. It just gives you a little bit of something to give yourself some resistance. If you're here and you can't quite get the elbow onto the ground, a little cheat is if you bend the knee, shuffle your shoulder forward, and then straighten the leg again. I don't know if you saw that clearly in the video. But I bent my back knee, and then when my shoulder was in front of my knee, I straightened my knee again. That's the cheat, that's the secret way for how to get it in front. So coming on out, we're gonna go for a pancake stretch now. I really like to be weighted when I do a pancake stretch, and if I don't have a friend to lie down on me, you gotta improvise. If you're at a gym, they might have some kind of like 10 kilo weight, but I'm not at a gym, I'm at my house, and the only thing I could find was this bag of my husband. He's a musician, so it's probably got like some kind of mixing desk or something in it. And I'm just gonna put it on my back as if it was one of those 10 kilo weights at the gym, and come on down. Whoops. You gotta improvise sometimes, guys. Use whatever you can find. So again here, it's really important that you don't fight the stretches, guys. You've gotta relax into the stretch. When a stretch hurts, that's actually just the central nervous system sending a message to you, saying that it's scared to relax the muscle. So when you feel that reaction, that pain reaction, it's just the central nervous system. There's nothing actually wrong with your muscles, guys. So the best thing to do is actually just to try to relax as much as you can. And I use my breath. So I take a big breath in and a big breath out. And maybe stay here for like a few breaths. If you're still not comfortable, you can move from side to side. I'm not going to do that because I might lose this crazy bag thing that's on my back. Okay, so let's just pretend I stayed there for about 10 breaths. We'll get rid of this bag. I'm going to come off my blocks for just a moment. Put that to the side. I'm going to do double pigeon. So everyone's favorite, or not, double pigeon. It's a bit of an advanced hip stretch. So I'll show you how to do it. This shin has to be horizontal in line with the front of the mat. And then this foot has to come on top. So I'm really trying to make sure that my ankle of my top foot is on the outside of the knee. Bad news, everyone. And this one hurts quite a lot, but just to prepare my body before I just jump into the stretch. I'm doing this same movement that I did before in the straddle, just to open my body up. Every time I come forward, I'm just letting the chest start to squish that top leg on top of the bottom leg. And when I feel my hips have opened and they're letting me do it, then I'm going to go for the stretch. So you might want to stay here for about 10 breaths. I really feel this in the back of my top hip and in the inside of my bottom hip. I'm just going to move my arms so that you guys can see what this looks like. But I don't normally do the stretch like this. So you can really see how my top leg is being squished by my body onto my bottom leg. Yeah, so stay there for about 10 breaths, and then you're going to come back up to sitting. If I'm teaching this in a class, I always make the students do this. Woohoo! To change legs. It's a good idea when you're torturing people to make them laugh. So again, coming into the second side, I make sure that my ankle's over the outer edge of my knee and that my two shins are stacked one on top of the other. Sometimes the bottom foot is really naughty and it tries to go in like this. Especially if you're a little bit more bendy, you really don't want to let it escape like that. So you just bring it forward. And then we go through the same process on this side. So go forward, and forward, forward, breathing. And then I come down. It's best if you just accept your fate rather than fighting this pose. You never win. You never win in the battle with double pigeon, guys. Just relax. So I'm going to come out now because some of you might not be able to do double pigeon. If you can't, and some people are going to be sitting like this, not even able to come forward, it's okay, guys. You can do this in cross-legged, yeah? And just as your body slowly starts to open up, you would then go to cow face pose from yoga, which is this one. And then you would go into double pigeon. So before we do the first box split, I'm going to do a stretch that I'm sure all of you are doing for your middle splits, which is like the one where you lie down in a straddle with your bum against the wall. I'm using 2.5 kg ankle weights. And I don't have a wall, but I do have a couch. So again, we improvise. I let my legs fall out to the side. Now, when I didn't have my middle splits and I really wanted them so badly, before I did this, I would download YouTube clips of contortionists and really bendy people doing beautiful things. And then I would sit here and watch them. And I'd be wiggling my legs down like this, pushing my own legs down, and then going, oh my God, this really hurts. And then I'd be looking at the video of the bendy people. And then that would be inspiration for me to stay here. You can really just relax here and just let gravity do the trick. If I'm teaching a class, I come and stretch my students in this pose. They don't like it very much, especially not the second time I come around. But it does help them to get bendy. So you can stay here for anywhere up to like 10 minutes or something. I'm not going to do that because otherwise this video will be much too long. But if you're doing this at home, you can just press pause. So sometimes you're going to get stuck coming out of this, especially if you've got ankle weights on. So you might need to grab your leg like this, and then fall over onto the side. So now I'm going to go for my first split. I'm going to get these mats off the floor because they're going to get in the way. Hey everybody, So sorry about that. My phone just ran out of battery, so I had to let it recharge a little bit before I could film the actual splits part. So the first thing that I do when I do middle splits for the actual split itself is middle splits, knees forward on the floor. You will see that I am standing on knee pads. I think this is for like hockey or some sport where they whack you in the knee with a big stick. But I mean, honestly, I've never even worn them. I just put them underneath my feet so that I can slide on the floor. I'm also on a tile floor here, so I can keep my feet in line with the tiles when I go down, and that way I know that I'm at 180 degrees. So this is middle splits, knees forward. Mine are not perfect, but they're improving on where they were. You really need to stay in your splits, as far as to the best of my knowledge, for 1.5 to 2 minutes minimum. When I did contortion training, we were in them for 4.5 minutes. And actually there is this point where your body gives up the fight. And it just, boom, you just drop down and you'll be amazed. Getting to that point can sometimes be a bit of a mental struggle. So when you're here in your stretch, you don't actually have to just sit here and wish for it to end. There's lots of things you can do. So one thing that's really good and that will help you get lower quickly is to squeeze and release your muscles. So squeeze them, hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. So what this does is it works with the nervous system by telling the nervous system that the muscles you're stretching are actually contracting, not relaxing, sorry. And that helps the nervous system be less scared, and therefore it will initiate less reactions to contract the muscles you're trying to stretch. If that makes any sense at all. What else was I going to say? Sorry, I forget. So after you've stayed in your split for 1.5 or 2 minutes, you're going to come out. Bring the legs together. Sorry for the crutch shot, people. Give them a little shake, 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 shake. And then guess what? We're going to do it again. So this is a little trick that my friend showed me recently that really helped me a lot, is to elevate one leg while you're doing your middle splits. I don't know if any of you have ever had the experience of having better splits when you're on the aerial silk. I know I did when I didn't have my splits so good. My splits would be way better on the silk than they were on the floor because gravity pulls your hips down. So if you do something like this, gravity will also pull your hips down. This is really good for less bendy people too. Okay, it's going to help you get down. So here, I'm just letting my hips move a little bit. I've read quite a lot of conflicting information about this, whether bouncing like I'm doing is good or bad. I don't know myself, but this feels really good to my body right now, so I'm gonna do it. So you stay on each split for about 45 seconds. Come out, so just to even my body. Bring my legs together. I do it on the other side. Again. Bringing my ankle onto the blocks. Bringing my other leg, my little friend, here. Knee pad. And come on down. You can already see that I'm more open now than I was in the previous box split. Box split, by the way, as far as I'm aware, is middle splits, knees forward. So yeah, once you've done that for 45 seconds, come out. Give it a little shake. Shake, shake, shake. And then we're going to go for the other split, which is middle split, knees up. So knees forward used to be my favorite split for ages, and then for some reason in the last 2 weeks it's just reversed. I have no idea why, but when I have these little victories, you don't ask questions, you just go with it. So again, I come up onto my knee pads. I like to flex my feet when going into it. Keep my knees facing the ceiling. And I come on down. So this is knees up. Mine is still certainly not yet perfect, mainly because in order to get down, I'm relying on some lumbar extension in my spine. Hang on, I'll go sideways so you guys can see. So you guys can see what I'm talking about. Just as far as alignment for knees up goes, I turn my knee out. Whoa, that's very close to the video. So I am at 180 here, but you see, and I'm more upright than I was before, because before I couldn't sit like I'm sitting now. But you see, I'm relying on lumbar extension here in order to be here. Gradually, as my adductors open up, adductors are the muscles that squeeze your legs together. As they open up, hopefully sitting up will be easier for me. So again, pretend that I've held this for 1.5 or 2 minutes. Come out. Give it a little shake. Shake, shake, shake. And then we go for the last one, which is middle split, knees up with an oversplit. So guys, in case you're wondering how the hell you get into an oversplit on middle splits on blocks, I will show you now my trick that took me ages to figure out. I take the knee pad, I put the knee pad underneath the yoga block. I put the yoga block on the floor, and then it's just going to be able to slide. So let's try this. Put my one heel on. Oh my god, these are like the worst ever yoga blocks for this, but we'll just go with it. Woo! I'll fix this one. So here we are. Whoa. A middle split, knees up with an oversplit on blocks. And we're going to pretend that I held this for 1.5 or 2 minutes. And I'm going to come out. So I hope it's been useful to some of you. Oh, one other tip. If you are less bendy than me and you are doing the split, yeah? So maybe you only get down like this far into your middle splits. And you've got to hold your whole weight here, and you feel totally exhausted in your arms and in your shoulders. Guys, when you're training the split, you've got enough to worry about rather than freaking out about your arms and shoulders giving in and your hands getting very tired from holding your weight. You can make like a tower of yoga blocks and put it underneath your chest so that you can just rest. So, like this. These yoga blocks honestly suck with the circle on the top. They're not very good for training flexibility. But what I mean, you can see, is something like this. Then I don't have to use my arms to hold myself up. This is actually very incredibly relaxing. And maybe you could watch the contortion videos of the bendy people again here. And just wait. Yeah. So again, I don't claim to be any kind of middle split super expert or anything. But that's what I do. In our studio we also have the torture machine that I'm sure you've all seen. The one with the wheel. And in addition, we'd also do partner stretching. But that's for another video. So yeah, let me know if you know anything different or anything new, because we all learn from each other. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.